I'm gonna have to report this. Hello? Yes. Auntie Pat beat my face. Yes. She beat it. She beat it real good. Hey you guys, welcome back. If it's your first time here, welcome. I'm Lala's Grand, and today we are going to be talking about Auntie Pat's new palette, the Rose Decadence palette. I am a big Pat McGrath fan, and if you don't know who Pat McGrath is, she is a world-renowned makeup artist. She's been in the game for so long, and she has a luxury makeup line, and I just love her products. And one of my favorite things about makeup is eyeshadow. I love to play and experiment with eyeshadow, and her eyeshadow formula is like one of the absolute best. So if you are here to have some fun and just to learn more about Pat McGrath and to see if you're interested in getting this palette, keep on watching. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, hit that notifications button so anytime I upload a new video, you'll be notified. If you guys don't know about Pat McGrath launches, they can get crazy and things can sell out like this. So I wasn't playing no games. I didn't think that this palette was necessarily gonna sell out because a lot of people felt like they probably had shades similar to this, but I'm a Pat McGrath fan and I love her eyeshadow formula. And I really do enjoy her miniature palettes, I guess you could say, but these are the 6-pan palettes and I really do enjoy these. So I already knew I was gonna get it. So in the Rose Decadence collection, she released an eyeshadow palette, and she also released new lip glosses or Lip Fetish Divinyls, and she also released more lip pencils. I went ahead and I got the Rose Decadence Eye Trio set, so that came with the Dark Star mascara that I've been waiting to try, and I haven't had the chance to get her eyeliner yet, so I was able to get that set for the trio, which was $110. If you get the palette by itself, it's like $65. So I saved $17 by just getting the bundle. And if you wanted the Lip Fetish Divinyl Trio, I was able to get it at that time for $60. And then the lip pencils are about $28, but it does depend on what color that you get. So that is the collection. Now, as far as the actual palette, it is a 6-pan palette, and it is just so beautiful. Like, if you just see these rosy mauvey tones, I mean, this I can see looking good on every single complexion. And I know what you're gonna say. She put another gold in one of her palettes. Yes, Auntie Pat loves her golds, but guess what? So do I, boo. I love the golds. I absolutely do, and I'm here for it. I love her golds. If I need to wear a gold, I'm reaching for one of Pat McGrath's golds. No questions asked, hands down. So I don't mind the fact that she put it in here, and I feel like it went with the whole theme. I mean, wouldn't you be surprised if Auntie Pat didn't put a gold in? So I think it's just perfect. In the 6-pan palette, she's got 2 matte shades, she's got a duochrome, and then she's got her shimmer shades. She doesn't have any of her other special formula shades, but these really do look beautiful, and I can't wait to see how they look and blend on the eye. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump right in, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. And this is Rose Decadence. It has her beautiful gold foiled logo on top that she normally puts on top of all of her packaging. And when you open it up, as usual, she's got the clear plastic with the names of the shadows written in gold on them. This first shade is called Pink Champagne, and I would say it's between a blush pink and a champagne color. She describes it as a warm frosted pink. The next shade is a matte, and it's called Peach Dusk, and it's described as a pink coral matte, and I would agree with that. Now, don't be fooled by the swatches, because I promise you, Pat's mattes are amazing. I really honestly do love most of her mattes. I think that they blend out really well on the eyes. The next shade is called Fuchsia Flame. It's a warm pink duochrome with a fuchsia purple flash, and I would agree. I actually see reflex of fuchsia and blue. Not sure if you can see the duochrome well on camera, but this would be really pretty, even blended out by itself on the eye. The next shade is called Hedonistic Rose, and it's described as a mid-tone mauve pink, and this is really pretty. The next shade right here that we have is called Scandalous, and it's a rose bronze metallic. Oh, this is pretty. Oh my gosh, look at this shade. That's gorgeous, y'all. Then the very last shade in the palette is called Golden Honey. And yes, she added another golden shade, but I'm telling you, her golds are really vibrant and beautiful. And this right here is Golden Honey. So these are the 6 shades in her palette for Rose Decadence. Next thing we're gonna swatch is the Lip Fetish Divinyl Lip Shine. I hope I said that right. Lip Fetish Divinyl Lip Shine. Oh my gosh. And this is the shade called Temptress. And this is Bella Amore. And the last one is called Nude Venus. And this is a really pretty nude shade. And I also want to go ahead and swatch the lip liner for you guys. And this lip liner is called Brown Devoe. I can't even say this right. I would say this really actually is more of a pinky tone brown. I could use this to line the nude color and that would work out great. Here is the final swatches of the Rose Decadence palettes, as well as the 3 Lip Fetish Divinyl Lip Shine colors that I got. All right, you guys, so we are all zoomed in. I want you guys to be able to see my eyeshadow look. I went ahead and I primed my eyes with the Pat McGrath concealer. My whole face is done. I have her foundation on, I got everything on, but my eyes are primed with her concealer, and it's a shade, can't see, I don't have my glasses on, MD23. It's the same shade that I use for my highlight, and I am okay. I would recommend using her concealer if you want to prime your eyelids, because it doesn't stay too moist. Like, you want a concealer that's also going to dry down and not make your eyeshadows muddy. So if you want to go ahead and use her concealer, I would recommend it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and tap out a little bit of those creases that you get when, you know, after it dries down. All right, so I don't know what look I want to do today. I do know that I want to first maybe try out with just a more simple look that everyone could probably feel comfortable with wearing. So we are gonna go ahead and start off with the shade, what shade is this called? Peach Dusk. And by the way, she puts all of her shadow names on the plastic, so the names are not on the palette, which doesn't bother me. I think it's just really nice and classy. And I'm using the Morphe M504 brush, and I'm gonna first just start off by patting this pigment, hun. I'm just gonna start off just by simply just putting this in my crease, the outer portion of my crease. And with pat shadows, something that I like to do, I like to build upon the shadows, because I already know that for her, the pigment is there. So the question isn't about pigment. I just like to build upon, because a color can look really light and then you put it on and it's like, whoa, I did not expect it to look like that. So I just like to build upon her shadows. I love the fact that they are buildable, but pigmented as well. And so I'm just going back and forth in my crease using circular motions and swiping back and forth. I don't know why I always like to start with my left eye. Maybe it's because I'm left-handed, but it's just so much easier. Now I'm just going to my other eye and I'm just gonna do the same exact thing. So far, I'm having no issues blending her this first shade. But something that I always love to look at in a palette is how the mattes perform, how the mattes blend. Yes, shimmers can be great, but how does that matte really blend? And when you're blending in an eyeshadow, please do not be afraid to go in this portion of your eye. If you don't do that, it can kind of sometimes make the eyeshadow look off balance, you know? And you just want to have that really nice seamless look. So just make sure you blend it out really nice and just take your time blending. But these shadows are blending out so nice, and I like to pull out. I want this to be pulled out a little bit. For my eye shape, I do like to have a little bit of a drawn out eyeshadow look instead of a rounded look. It's all about your eye shape, and different people like different things. But for me, I definitely like for mine to be blown out. All right, so I definitely want to layer these mattes to see how they work. And so the next shade that we're going to be going into is called Hedonistic Rose. And this is definitely a deeper pink shade. And I'm gonna be using my MAC brush that is so old, I can't even tell, but I just know the numbers. It's my 224 brush. And it's just more of a tapered brush. And this one, I'm just gonna make sure I go directly in my crease and focus it just there, so I can get a really nice gradient look effect. And if you need to look down to get more into your socket, please go ahead and do that. But so far, it's blending so nicely. I'm not getting any type of muddiness, so that's good. So I'm just now packing the shadow all over the lid. Now I could use another brush to do this, but I love this brush and it's working just fine. So I'm gonna go back in my crease and just blend, blend, blend. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my Morphe M504 brush and I'm gonna go ahead and dip back into that pink shade called Peach Dusk. Peach Dust, not Peach Dust. And just go back and blend. Just so I can marry these two nicely together. And again, I'm using my MAC 224 and I'm going back into Hedonistic Rose. And now I'm just gonna pack that on my lid. And repeat the same and take my Morphe M504 and go back into Rose Dust and just go back and blend. All right, so I love the blown out look that I'm getting. I just love how these shades blend nicely into each other. The gradient from light to dark, perfect. I'm not getting any muddiness. And so what I wanna do next, I actually wanna go ahead and I love putting a shimmer on my lower lash line. I just think it's just something just so sultry about a shimmer on your lower lash line when you have like a matte look on top. I have my Morphe M508. I'm gonna go ahead and just spray it with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus just to wet the brush. And I'm gonna go into the shade Scandalous. Not that you have to spray your brush with pat shadows, but I like to spray my brush just to make sure that that pigment is gonna stay on my lower lash line and not budge. And I'm just running this across my lower lash line. All right, so I zoomed you in a little bit more so you can get a little up close and personal and see some details or whatever. All right, so looking at this, I'm loving this so far with that shimmer on my lower lash line. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and blend just a matte underneath that. So I'm going to use my Morphe M562 brush and I'm going to take the shade Peach Dusk and I'm going to go ahead and blend that on my lower lash line. All right, so now I'm taking Hedonistic Rose and I'm blending that into my outer V. I just want to connect my lower lash line and my top line and my top lash line together just so it's a really nice seamless look. Do you guys own any Pat McGrath palettes? I mean, if you don't have any Pat McGrath palettes, I promise you when you get your first one, it is an experience that you are just going to enjoy. I mean, these shadows are just out of this world. She has been in the business so long. She knows what she's doing. She's experienced. And anytime I reach for a Pat McGrath palette, it's literally an experience for me. Like, I absolutely love it. Even though this newer palette doesn't have her traditional tie, it's magnetic, that don't bother me. Her formula is just amazing. But just in case you wanted to see what her older palette looked like, it had the ties. And this palette, this is one of my absolute favorite palettes. Like, I have gotten so much use out of this. I have some eye looks that I've done from this that have stood out. I've gone out and people are like, who did your makeup? Like, what are you wearing on your eyes? And I feel like that's the experience I get from Pat McGrath. They want to know what I'm wearing. Like, it just looks so good and it just stands out. Like, you make a statement when you wear Pat McGrath. And so I love the way my eyes are looking still. They are just really nice and it's like simple, blown out with a touch of glam, like bam. And it just looks, ooh, it looks good, y'all. I kind of want to use an inner corner highlight, but I don't know, I'm not sure. So far we've used 3 of the shades. We've used Peach Dusk, we've used Hedonistic Rose, and we've used Scandalous. So I don't know if I want to go ahead and use Pink Champagne on my inner corner, which is the light pink. I don't know, I kind of like how it looks already. You guys, this is looking good so far. Oh, okay. I don't think I'm gonna do an inner corner highlight. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is put liner, lashes, mascara. Actually, yes, I want to try out the new liner and the mascara. So this is the Dark Star mascara. So before this one released, she had her Fetish Eyes mascara, and we're gonna go ahead and try out the Dark Star. Now for me, I don't really have a ton of lashes, so let's see what magic this can do. I'm really liking the type of applicator it is. In the middle, it's like thinner, and then on the ends, it's flatter. Well, fatter, I guess I should say. But that really allows me to get the curve on my bottom lash line without having to worry about getting mascara on my face. All right, so I do have her eyeliner that I do want to try out, and so let's see what the I don't know if y'all can see that, but that one little line, that application was nice. And it's jet black, which I love. You guys, this glides across the eye so smooth. I really like this eyeliner. This is a really nice liner. Here is the look with lashes, and oh, it just looks so good. I love the gradient on my eyes, and I love that shimmer that I put on my lower lash line. So I did not put on any blush or any highlighter because for the amount of money you spend on this palette, you better be able to use it as eyeshadow, blush, highlighter, everything. I want to go ahead and I want to go ahead and mix Peach Dusk and Hedonistic Rose. So I'm just going to mix the two of them. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I'm just going really lightly because the pigment for Pat is just out of this world. So again, I just mix both of them, and I'm just going to start high up and then work my way down. And I'm seeing a flush of color. I went really light-handed because I was so nervous. So let's see. Woo. Oh, this is pretty, you guys. Yep, this works. My idea was perfect. But I love this. See, you can use makeup however you want. Like, these are eyeshadows that I'm using as blush. If you have her palettes, I feel like they're multi-use. Who says you have to use it only as eyeshadow? Better get your coins for $65. I mean, oh, this is pretty. And because her eyeshadow formula is so nice and smooth, I feel comfortable even using it as a blush. So this looks, all right, I don't want to get carried away, but hopefully I don't look like like I got carried away. Oh, this is so much fun. Okay, all right, let me stop. Cheryl, stop. It's too much. You about to look crazy. Okay, all right, so that's enough blush. I actually think I need to diffuse that out a little bit. So I'm just gonna take my other powder brush that I use for my bronzer and powder and just slightly go over that just to help diffuse that and blend that in even further. Boom, that's it. All right, so what I want to do next is I want to try all the lip colors. I got 3 of them. I got the trio, and with the trio there's 3 different shades, and the packaging is stunning. So her normal lipsticks come in the black and gold packaging. All right, so this is a normal packaging for her lipsticks, but for this rose collection she went ahead and went with the pink one, and the pink one seems slightly thinner, but they're not lipsticks, they are, it's called Lip Fetish Divinyls Lip Shine, and I want to try on all 3 colors for you guys plus the lip liner that I got. And this is Nude Venus. Now I want to see what the liner that Pat McGrath has. This one is called Rendezvous or Rendezvous. I'm so sorry if I can't say it, but I'll leave what it is here on the screen. All right, so here is Nude Venus lined with Rendezvous. But I like it. The formula is really nice. I thought that the liner was going to be a darker brown liner, but it's not. I mean, it goes with the whole rose theme, but I just thought it was going to be a darker brown, but it's actually more on the pink. I don't want to say burgundy side, but it could go a little bit, but it's more really pink. And I mean, it looks good. The formula for the Lip Fetish Divinyl is nice. And I do think that it does look pretty with this look. And even as I pile on some more, I'm just trying to see if it gets sticky, but it's not sticky or anything, and it's not tearing. I do love Pat's lipstick formula. I really am a big fan of her lipsticks. And it looks good. I really have no complaints. Again, I just thought that the liner was going to be darker brown. I don't know, to me online, it looked like it was a darker brown. Maybe I didn't see it right, but this does look pretty right here. So what do you guys think about this lip combination with this eye look? I like it. I wouldn't really want to necessarily go with the darker lip, but I do have two other shades to swatch, so I want you guys to see them. The next shade is called Bella Amore. And this shade, she is definitely a brighter pink. And if you are looking for something really sheer, these are sheer, but they do have color. So if you want something with less color, this may not be for you. But I would just say maybe get a lighter shade, a shade that might be closer to your actual lip color. I mean, it's cute, it's pretty. I wouldn't necessarily wear this lip with this eye look because I feel like the pink is just way too much, but it looks good. I would still want to line my lips with, I don't know why I love to line my lips, but I don't feel like that lip liner is dark enough to suit this, but I mean, it's pretty. I feel like there's a time and there's a place for this color, but I don't feel like it would necessarily go with the eye look that I have right now, but it is a beautiful color and the formula is great. All right, so the very last shade is called Temptress. So this shade is more of a berry, it's more of a berry reddish shade. That one was more of a berry pink. This, I would say, is definitely more of a berry red shade. Now, I would not wear this lip with this eyeshadow look, but I just wanted to just try on all three of the Lip Divinyls. And I do think that this color for me, I don't really like this color on me. I prefer more of a brighter red or a brighter pink or just something that's just not necessarily in between. I just prefer just a brighter if I do want to wear that shade. But out of all three of them, my favorite shade was Nude Venus, but the formula is very comfortable. I feel like I'm wearing just like a regular lip gloss. And these do have a smell. Yes, they do. They smell like, I don't know, it's a faint smell. Like if you don't like fragrance in your makeup, this really doesn't have a strong fragrance, but it doesn't have a taste at all. But the fragrance is really slight. I don't know, I want to say it smells a little bit like a berry smell, but I'm not sure. But it's just a really light fragrance. But again, these are all three of the Lip Divinyls. Let me know which one you like best in the comments below. All right, you guys, so I went ahead, I took off that first eyeshadow look. I wanna go ahead and do a second look with this. So I put the concealer back on. I still have the blush that I used, or the eyeshadow blush that I used. I still have that on. And the lip that I have on still is Nude Venus. I ended up putting that one back on. So let's go ahead and dive back in because we have 3 more shades that we still have to use. All right, so I zoomed you guys in so we could see what this second look is gonna be. Again, I just used the Pat McGrath concealer. I put that on my eyelids and I blended that out. So the first shade, you know what I want to do? I actually want to take Fuchsia Flame. This is the duochrome, and I can show this to you up close. But I'm thinking of taking this shade and literally just blending this out in the crease. Isn't that pretty? All right, and so the brush that I'm using is my Morphe M441 brush. And I'm just gonna start off by tapping this shade before blending. Since it is a shimmer shade, I'm gonna just pack that on. I don't want to go high in my crease. I'm just going to go literally right in my crease. That way, when I blend it out, it's going to have a more blown out look. And I'm still just packing this on. And you guys, this is so pretty. Like, oh. Now again, if you don't feel comfortable taking the shade and blending it out in the crease, you are more than welcome to go ahead and just use one of the mattes. So now I'm going to take my MAC 224 brush and I'm just going to go ahead and go around the edges of this and just blend this out just to diffuse it. I really do like to have a drawn out winged look, so I'm going to go ahead and just pack the shadow in the direction of how I want it to blow out. Now I'm going to take my MAC 224 and blend this out just like I did on the other eye. And I just want to make sure I'm blending this into the inner portion of my eye just to help create that look. All right, so I really want to use Pink Champagne, and that's like the blush pink that almost looks like a rose gold. So I want to go ahead and just see if I can just take my finger and just tap that in the center of my eye. This just looks so pretty, and I'm really just trying to tap it in lightly and blend it in just in the center. Something that I love that Pat does is that she will literally blend in all of her shimmers together into this really nice seamless look. I don't really see like a lot of cut creases and such like that. Not that she doesn't do them, but I just love that the shimmers just blend together and just make a really nice timeless look. So that's exactly what I want to achieve here. And I'm just blending the outer edge of these together. The last thing I want to do is I want to do an inner corner highlight with this look, and I am going to use the gold, which is called Gold Honey, and I'm going to put that on my inner corner. Before I finish my inner corner highlight, I'm going to mix the two mattes together and blend that on my lower lash line. All right, so now that I have my lower lash line complete, I'm going to go back into Gold Honey and really just give it that inner corner highlight. The look is almost complete. I put my lashes on, I got my liner on. But remember how I said earlier how you could use this palette for a blush, eyeshadow, and highlight. So what I want to do is I actually want to take the shade called Golden Honey, and I literally want to just tap it ever so slightly. I want to try to attempt to use this as a highlight. You guys, this looks identical to one of the golden highlights in the highlight trio. All right, I'm sorry, it's a Sublime skin highlighter. So I've had this for a very long time and I actually get great use out of it. So there's a gold and then there's an iridescent gold. So let's swatch those and just see, because now I'm curious to see how close this is to Golden Honey, because for some reason this eyeshadow reminds me of the highlighter. This right here is Bronze Nectar 003. And this is Fine Gold 003. And that's like the iridescent gold. And then the one that's in the eyeshadow palette, this one is Golden Honey. Oh my gosh, is this the same? You guys, let me come up close. I am telling you, these two. So this is the one that's in the highlighter trio. I was about to drop my palette. This is the one that's in the highlighter trio, and then this is Golden Honey that's in the eyeshadow palette. They are literally almost like the exact same shade. The only difference is the one that's in, the one that is Bronze Nectar 003 that's in this palette, it just has a little bit more sparkle to it actually. But they are like the same. See what I mean? You guys, don't be limited in thinking that, oh, eyeshadow is just for the eyes. No, use it for however you want to, whatever you want to do with it. Because this right here is proof that they are just so identical and similar. Now, I mean, I would say that, yeah, I would say that Bronze Nectar just has a little bit more sparkle. So if you are someone who absolutely loves rosy shades, pinky, mauve tone shades, then go ahead, by all means, pick this palette up. But if you're on the fence about it because you're thinking like, man, another gold, and I already have Divine Rose 1 and Divine Rose 2, then you may not necessarily need this palette, but it's completely up to you. The gold that I just showed you, I'm still in shock. Like, they are literally so similar. I mean, they're different, but they're so similar where I wouldn't be able to point out the differences unless I was looking really closely. Let me go ahead and swatch some of the shades for you. This right here is Pink Dust from Rose Decadence. And if you have Divine Rose 1 and Divine Rose 2, I can go ahead and swatch Valoria. This is Valoria from Divine Rose 1. And Valoria is definitely a paler shade. And if you are curious, Naked Blush from Divine Rose 2, here's Naked Blush. Naked Blush is really almost, that was a bad swatch, but Naked Blush really is more of a peachier shade. The other one from Rose Decadence really is more of a pinkier tone shade. So this is Hedonistic Rose right here. So that actually looks a little bit similar to Extreme Burgundy, which is in Divine Rose 2. So let's swatch that and see. But they're not the exact same, but if you're okay with shades that look similar, that's fine. But this is definitely deeper and it's more of a purple. And if you're curious about Seduction, I would say Seduction, there is a shade where it does look close. So that's Seduction right there. And then in Divine Rose 2, Bronze Rose 005 looks like it could be close to it. So let's swatch that next. But it's not exactly. This is definitely more of a peachier rosy tone. And then this really is bronze. I mean, there's some similarities, but they're really not the same shade if that's what you're worried about. Here is VR Rose Venus, which is definitely nothing like Pink Champagne, because Pink Champagne is that baby pink that is more of a Pink Champagne. And the other one, this is definitely the duochrome. There are some similarities amongst the three palettes, but she did that on purpose because obviously she wants to follow her rose theme. But again, if you were on the fence about this and you really don't want any more peachy mauve shades and you already have the golds from all of her other palettes, then don't worry about picking this up. But if you don't mind, and if you're a Pat McGrath fan and you just love the formula and you are just here for as many shades as you can possibly get from her, then definitely by all means pick this up. If I had to choose between the palettes and the Lip Divinyls, I would definitely go with the palette over the Lip Divinyl. Now, if you have no Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes at all and you want to experience one, then I actually would say please go ahead and pick up one of the Mothership palettes. I feel like you would get more use out of the Mothership palettes because they're more versatile and you can get even some everyday use out of some of those palettes as opposed to just this palette, which personally for me, I would not be using as an everyday use. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video.